Welcome to my program. I'm Anthony Noble and I want to teach you with these things to be an artist. Welcome again. This is Anthony Noble, Lesson 3. With Lesson 1, we did an L composition. Lesson 2, we did a U composition. Lesson 3, we're going to do something different, start off with something different. This is my canvas. Canvas is known as my ground. Each piece of canvas has a different texture. I prepare my own canvases, and this is what the canvas looks like when I buy it. Okay, on the roll, that's the one kind, then another kind, okay, but they all basically do the same thing. This is a different kind, so I've got 3 different textures of canvas. Canvas is pure cotton, and it has a texture, it has a tooth to it. This is known as a canvas board. These you buy at P&A, C&A, sometimes at Pick and Pay they'll sell them, but this is canvas board. This is simply where the canvas has been stretched over a piece of board. My problem with this is that it buckles. This one has bent slightly. Me, on the other hand, I cut a frame, stretch the canvas on it, and then prime it with a very good PVA so that when you push it, when you punch it, when you do whatever to it, it does not break, but it's a canvas, it's a stretched canvas, which if you go and buy it is quite expensive. But for today, I'm going to use a piece of canvas that I've stretched on a board, okay? And I want everyone to understand that the pictures I paint are from inside of me. We have treasures and treasures, untold treasures inside of us that we just need to put out. Every single picture that you've ever seen, listen carefully, every single scene, picture that you've ever seen is somewhere inside of you. It's a matter of taking it out. Yes, it'll be difficult at first, but practice makes perfect. And if you don't practice, you won't get it right. So, for today, we are doing an O composition. Now, an O composition is exactly that. It's an O composition. So we'll have trees going around and around, closing up the composition. Okay? Here, I'm going to have shrubs, which are going to be shrouded in mist. Here, I'm going to have water. You'll notice, without thinking about it, I'm working in thirds. Okay, so that was my first, second, but I'm working in thirds. So my lowest third is going to be the land itself. The top third, 2/3, are going to be sky. These are going to be trees here and trees there. These trees are going to close the canvas. These are going to be shrubs or trees in the distance, which are going to be very misty. And so everything that I have here is already inside. I don't have a picture. Yes, you can paint from pictures. I don't have a problem with that. But for me, I use what I have. You have all the resources inside of you. Everything is there. Okay? And then also, if you remember carefully from my very first time with you, I said we're working in an unorthodox way. So this brush has been painting for the day and it's going to paint again. Why? It's not the brush that paints, it's me. Okay? So whether you use an artist's proper brush or a handyman's brush, which is what I'm going to use, it doesn't matter really. As long as you are creative. Remember, we are creative beings. We create stories. We create places in our minds. I create places on canvas. Okay? So, for today, I'm going to use a blue sky. Okay? Blue sky with clouds. different from the other two. Blue sky with clouds. And I'm going to start the whole process as I did in the past with a little bit of raw linseed oil. This is simply a flow medium. And if you looked at it now, you'd probably say, but it's all gone green. It's simply the raw linseed oil. Okay? Into the raw linseed oil, I apply white paint. Okay, a little bit of white paint. There goes my white paint. And we are still using only the 3 primary colors. So, for those who are beginners, you don't need to buy a whole range of colors. No, just the 3 primaries and white. Okay, there's my water. And then, because this is a blue sky scene, I add a little bit of blue there and a little bit of blue there. Those are the edges. It brings the blue into the picture. Okay, there we go. Those are going to be clouds in the center. Here's my blue sky. This is water. Water reflects. So, water in itself does not have a color. Water reflects. That's my water there. And then I'm going to do the clouds. Take note, my clouds with the same brush. We do the clouds there, just on the edge of the brush. And my clouds on this side. And there we go. And just a little cloud there. Dab a cloud into place there. And then we're not going to do a mountain this time. This time we're simply going to put some trees here in the background. Those trees which I drew over there to remind you that this is a forest scene and it's going to close. Take note, I've designed it that way. Already I'm working towards that. Okay, these are trees. And we said these trees are going to be standing in the mist. There they are. You don't need to wash brushes. It's just oil paint, the reflection of the trees. There. And the stems of the trees. These are the stems. And they reflect in the water. There we go. Here we go. And to touch those stems with my brush so that they're slightly obscured, just ever so slightly. Okay, below the trees we have grass. And my grass is going to be slightly green, a light green is yellow, white, lots of white, and a little bit of blue. Over there, there, and on this side, there. Take note, I use the palette knife to block color in. The grass closest to us is always darker. Okay, with the same brush, we simply touch and lift, touch and lift, touch and lift, touch and lift, touch and lift. Okay, so it's a touch, lift, so it looks like grass when you look at it from a distance. It's touch and lift, touch and lift. There, and on this side. And then to do the bank, or where the stream reaches the grasses on the side there. Ever so little. Once again, touch and lift, touch and lift, touch and lift, touch and lift, touch and lift. And then the reflections, ever so slightly, ever so slightly. Okay, I hope you understand that, and I hope it makes sense. Now, we want to include trees. These trees are going to close over there, but the leaves of the trees are not solid, so the light will come through. So I need to know there's going to be a tree here, over there, there's a tree there, and there's a tree there, there's another tree there. These are just ideas so that I know what I'm doing. Okay? Tape my brush, dab it onto my green, and I apply my trees. Remembering that trees have leaves that you can see through, so they're translucent. And there, there, and this side. That's the beginning of my O composition. Okay, to get the stems in place. How do I get a brown? Just using my 3 primaries. I use blue, yellow and red, and it gives me a brown. So here's my tree, another tree there. This side, my reflection in the water there. This you can use a brush to draw these lines, and if you do use a brush, how you do that I'll show you in a moment. I use a palette knife. If you do use a brush, you drag the paint upward. Take note, drag. Okay, drag the paint. So you drag the brush upward. You drag it. On this side. There we go. And just to include a little bit of a highlight on the tree, make it a little more realistic. And darken the one side of the tree. And how do we plant those trees? Watch carefully. I simply put the brush down and lift it slightly. Simply put the brush down, lift it slightly. And then to break the reflections, this is very important, to break the reflections, I take a white, tiny, tiny lines of white. I could use a light blue as well. Doesn't really matter as long as you break the reflections. And I'm going to sign my name now. When I sign my name, I use a different brush, or rather the thin brush again. You can sign whichever side you want to sign it. Rest your finger on a safe place. Don't put it on your canvas. And I sign my name. Remember, you need to be proud of your work. Don't ever paint for somebody else. Paint for you. Okay? When I paint, I don't do it with someone else in mind. Someone else may criticize my work and say it's this or it's that or the other. I don't listen to people's negative criticism. I do it for me. I want to encourage you. Paint for you. If you're happy with your work, don't listen to criticism. Everybody will tell you something different, but until they've tried, don't listen to criticism. Oh, composition, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If you need advice, help, feel free to contact me on 082 2585 704 or email me at anthony.noble, Noble, 36 @gmail.com. Thank you.